nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Reading of the Journal.
Journal of the House of Delegates, Charleston, Wednesday, January 10th, 2018.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from the 54th, Delegate Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would ask unanimous consent that the further reading of the journal be dispensed with and that it be approved as having been read.
The gentleman from the 54th, in his unique style, has asked unanimous consent that the further reading of the journal be dispensed with and that it be approved as having been read. Is there objection? Chair hears none. Journal is approved. Gentleman from the 58th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today we have a citation presentation honoring Dr. Harry Warren Boggs from Mineral County. Here to receive the citation are family and friends of Dr. Boggs, as well as Boy Scouts from Mineral County. Escorting our guests into the chamber are delegates Alan Evans, Howe, and Rowan.
Clerk will please read a citation.
Whereas Dr. Harry Warren Boggs, 1927 to 2011, a lifelong resident of Kaiser, served as an optometrist beginning in 1964 and was also chairman of the Boggs Supply Company in Kaiser. And whereas Dr. Boggs attended Kaiser High School, Potomac State College, West Virginia University, and Pennsylvania College of Optometry. He served as a naval aviator captain with the United States Navy and was a commanding officer in 4 major commands. He served 2 tours in the Pentagon Naval Command Center and with the National Navy Reserve Policy Board. He accumulated 8,150 flight hours during 31 years of service while traveling to 50 foreign countries. And whereas Dr. Boggs had extensive volunteer efforts and commitment toward the community, county, and state he called home. He served as past president of the Mineral County Development Authority, the Mineral County Industrial Development Corporation, the Kaiser Rotary Club, and the Mineral County Chamber of Commerce. He was the financial chairman of the Queens Meadow Point Cemetery Corporation and of the Mineral County Republican Club. And whereas Dr. Boggs served on the United Board of Trustees of Davis and Elkins College in Elkins, West Virginia, and on the Board of Trustees for the Sunnyside Retirement Community in Harrisonburg, Virginia. He was the director of the former National Bank of Kaiser and of the Kaiser Main Street Program, served as the American Field Service founding president in 1965, and as past chairman of the County United Way. And whereas Dr. Boggs' memberships include the West Virginia Board of Optometry, West Virginia Optometric Health System Memorial Board, Executive Board of Potomac Council Boy Scouts of America, Boyce Hauser Post 41 American Legion, VFW Post 318 Nancy Hanks, West Virginia Regional Jail and Prison Authority, Davis Lodge 351, and an active lifetime member of the Kaiser Presbyterian Church. Dr. Boggs received the Distinguished West Virginian Award, the Mineral County Citizen of the Year Award from the Kaiser Kiwanis Club, the Distinguished Service Award from the Potomac State College of WVU, the Silver Beaver Boy Scout Award, and was inducted into the Kaiser High School Legion of Honor. Therefore, the House of Delegates of the West Virginia Legislature hereby honors Dr. Harry Warren Boggs and directs this citation be presented in his honor.
Members will please be at ease a moment while I greet our guests and present the citation. Gentleman from the 58th.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today we have a citation presentation honoring Caitlin Thorsell, the 2018 West Virginia Teacher of the Year. To receive the citation today, we have Caitlin, her boyfriend Joe, and her mother Deanna, and her family. Escorting our special guests into the chamber are delegates Espinoza, Moore, Upson, Statler, Moy, and Hornbuckle.
Clerk, please read the citation.
Whereas Caitlin Thorsell, an agriculture education teacher at Washington High School in Jefferson County, was named the 2018 West Virginia Teacher of the Year by the West Virginia Department of Education. And whereas Caitlin makes sure her students understand the importance of community involvement and ensures that her agriculture students have the ability to complete supervised agriculture experiences, allowing real-world training in a supervised environment. She is a volunteer firefighter and EMT and helps graduating seniors receive hands-on CPR and first aid training. And whereas Caitlin was selected by a committee of educators and West Virginia Department of Education staff that evaluated 6 finalists from the 53 county Teacher of the Year representatives. Therefore, the House of Delegates of the West Virginia Legislature hereby recognizes and honors Caitlin Thorsell and directs this citation be presented in her honor.
Members will please be at ease a moment while I greet our guests and present the citation. Introduction of guests. Lady from the 18th, August Sabonia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the North Gallery, I'd like for her to stand up and be recognized. It's a friend of mine who's a advanced practice registered nurse, and she also is in the practice with Delegate Rohrbach. And I would like, on behalf of our delegation, to make her feel very welcome. Jody Biller.
John from the 14th, Doug Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Joining us from the PAGE program from Roosevelt Elementary School today, and I don't see where he is, but we have Sean Tucker, and he's accompanied by his dad, Stephen Tucker. And if Stephen would stand and the House make them welcome, please.
Lady from 57th, Delegate Rowan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For Mineral County Day today, we have two men in uniform back here that will be paging for the Mineral County delegation. They are Connor and Zachary Davis, and they are here today with their father, Stephen. Would the House please give them a wide and wonderful West Virginia welcome?
Gentleman from the 9th, Doug Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the North Gallery, I just want to introduce my wife. Y'all met her last year, and you see her around helping me. She's definitely my right hand here. My wife, Lisa. Please give her a welcome.
Further introductions. Gentleman from the 58th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, for the 29th anniversary Doc of the Day program, today we have with us Dr. Chandra Barker of Ono, West Virginia. If the House will make the good doctor welcome.
Lady from 57th, Delegate Rowan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have another bunch of wonderful people here from Mineral County today. They actually had a stiff competition on who got to sell lemonade on Mineral County Day. Their team was the Fighting Fibrosis team. They are Vera Smith, Skylar Ritchie, Hunter Powell, Alex Stanislawski, E.J. Guy, Cassie Pancake, Sheila Powell, and Stacy McClintock, who are their teachers. So would the House also give them a wide and wonderful West Virginia welcome?
Further introductions. Reports of standing committees. Reports of select committees. Messages from the executive. Messages from the Senate. Resolutions.
House Concurrent Resolution 2, U.S. Marine Corps Private First Class James Rel Heater Memorial Bridge.
Gentleman from the 58th.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of resolutions introduced be dispensed with, and each resolution be considered formally introduced and referred to the appropriate committees listed on the Chamber Automation System.
Gentleman from the 58th asks unanimous consent that further reading of resolutions introduced be dispensed with, that each resolution be considered formally introduced and referred to the appropriate committees as indicated on the Chamber Automation System. Is there objection? Chair hears none. Each resolution will be so considered introduced and referred. Petitions.
Delegate A. Evans presents a petition signed by 29 constituents requesting a public water line along County Route 3-1 and 5/1 in Grant County.
Petition will be received and referred to the Committee on Finance.
Delegate Howell presents a petition signed from citizens of Mineral County requesting the Department of Highways construct a turning lane at the intersection of West Virginia Route 28 and Scenic Lane.
Petition will be received and referred to the Committee on Roads and Transportation. Motions. Bills introduced.
The following bills are introduced pursuant to House Rule 92, House Bill 4020, making technical corrections in the code when referencing Chapter 49.
Gentleman from the 58th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that further reading of bills introduced be dispensed with, and each bill be considered formally introduced and referred to the appropriate committee as listed on the Chamber Automation System.
Gentleman from the 58th asks unanimous consent that further reading of bills introduced be dispensed with, Each bill be considered formally introduced and referred to the appropriate committees as indicated on the chamber automation system. Is there objection? Chair hears none. Each bill be considered formally introduced and so referred. Unfinished business. Bills on third reading. Bills on second reading. Bills on first reading. Leaves of absence. Remarks by members of the House. Gentleman from 37th, Doggett Pushkin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've all heard and seen the news stories about the extravagant, irresponsible spending that's been going on over on the third floor of the East Wing in this building from the Supreme Court of Appeals. We've all heard about the $35,000 couch. The floor with the map of West Virginia with each county laid out tile by tile, and Tucker County in blue granite. We've heard about Cass Gilbert desk that's made its way into the home office of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And for a minute, I'd like for you to juxtapose that against some of the cuts that have come under this Chief Justice to vital functions of the court, cuts to drug court, that we know has not only saved lives and saved families all over West Virginia, but has also saved taxpayer dollars. Cuts to guardian ad litem programs to look out for children. Cuts to the sex offender monitoring program, which has been moved over to the probation offices that, from what I've told, work 9 to 5, and I can tell you that predators don't take nights and weekends off. Cuts to all these vital programs. I can tell you the biggest casualty in all of this is public trust and confidence in the judiciary has eroded throughout this whole thing. And in op-eds and in statements to the press, all we have gotten so far from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is a shift of the blame. He wants to blame it on the former administrator. He has taken no responsibility and no accountability for what's gone on under his watch and in his office and in his home while he's been Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So I believe it's our constitutional responsibility as an equal branch of government to be that check against the irresponsible activities that have gone on under this court. So I have drafted, and I'm going to introduce a resolution that would direct the House Judiciary Committee to inquire, investigate, and report back recommendations on whether or not the impeachment of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Alan Lawfrey, would be an appropriate course of action to take. That's our responsibility, to investigate, look into it, and to report back whether or not we should move forward, just whether or not we should move forward with an impeachment process. I'll be here after floor session today if anyone would care to sign on to this, be a co-sponsor of this resolution. I can tell you a couple of the rules that I believe might have been violated from the Code of Judicial Conduct. Rule 1-2, which would just simply avoid impropriety and the appearance of impropriety. I think that there is definitely an appearance of impropriety. Rule 3-1E, which forbids making use of court premises, which includes staff for duties outside of their scope, outside of the court, like example, moving furniture. And Rule 3-13, a judge shall not accept any gifts, loans, bequests, benefits, or other things of value, like a leather sofa that was in his office and was now in his home, now in a storage facility in Kanawha City. So I'm asking for us to consider doing our job as an equal branch of government and being that check against the judicial branch, and hopefully to restore the confidence and the trust in the judiciary that is very necessary in our state. And I think that we owe that to the taxpayers of West Virginia. I'll be here if anyone would like to sign on to that resolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Further remarks by members? Miscellaneous? Gentleman from the 50th, Caputo.
Just like to ask unanimous consent that the gentleman's remarks from the 37th be printed in the appendix of the journal.
Without objection, remarks be printed in the appendix of the journal. Further remarks? Miscellaneous business. Gentleman from the 58th.
Mr. Speaker, subject to announcements, I move the House adjourn until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Are there announcements? Gentleman from the 64th, Delegate Householder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Committee on Finance will meet today at 2 p.m. for the governor's budget presentation. And then on Friday, January 12th at 9 a.m., the Supreme Court will be giving their budget presentation. And at 10 a.m., the Lottery Commission will give their budget presentation. Thank you.
John from the 33rd, Delegate Hanshaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Judiciary Committee will meet tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. The agenda for that meeting will be posted later today, and we will also gather immediately upon adjournment today in front of the clerk's desk for the annual committee photo. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
John from the 51st, Delegate Statler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Education will meet Friday morning at 9 a.m. in the Education Committee room. The agenda is posted.
Lady from the 31st, Delegate Arbon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Government Organization will meet at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, January 12th, in the Government Organization Committee Room 215 East. The agenda is posted.
Lady from the 49th, Delegate Summers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Health and Human Resources will meet today at 2 o'clock in room 215E. The agenda will be posted.
Lady from the 32nd, Delegate Kester.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on the Prevention and Treatment of Substance Abuse will meet today at 3:30 in the Government Organization Room.
Gentleman from the 17th, Delegate Rohrbach.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Senior Citizens Issues will meet today, Thursday, January the 11th at 1 p.m. in the House Government Organization Committee Room. The agenda has been posted.
Further announcements. Not request for the House. Lady from the 57th, Delegate Rowan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Lunch is being provided in honor of Mineral County Day at Government Organization, and that started at 11:30. So everybody, please join us.
Further announcements. If not, the request for the House is a motion by the gentleman from the 58th that the House stand adjourned until 11 a.m. tomorrow. All in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Declare the House adjourned until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Senate will please come to order. The Senate will please come to order. All those not having privileges of the floor will please vacate the chamber. With those on the floor and our guests in the gallery, please rise as we are led in prayer this morning by the Reverend Lauren Godwin of the Grace United Methodist Church in Kaiser, West Virginia. And then please remain standing as we are led in the pledge this morning by the senior senator from the 15th, Pastor Godwin.
Let us pray. O God of justice and mercy, we give thanks for this day and the beginning of this legislative season. We pray for our elected leaders and ask that you give them your strength, courage, and wisdom to serve faithfully. May they know your heart that knows the hope and hurts of your people. May they have your grace-filled vision towards a future with hope in West Virginia. And in their work, Lord, may they honor the words spoken by Jesus Christ our Lord, to love others just as you love us, to care for the widow, the elderly, children, to serve the least, the last, and the lost, to make a way for those feeling hopeless, to help their loved ones escape the grips of addiction, to restore our communities with hope for a bright future, and to unite families so broken by the opioid epidemic. May they each do the work required by you, O Lord, to do justice, to love kindness, and walk humbly with you, the Lord their God. O Lord, source of our hope and freedom, may their work instill hope in your people of West Virginia. May it keep our great state looking like almost heaven, and be sure that our mountaineers are always free. This we pray in the one who gives us freedom and restores us to life. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Senior Senator from the 15th.
Members and guests, please join me as we pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading of the Journal.
West Virginia Legislature Senate Journal, Wednesday, January 10th, 2018, pursuant to Section 18, Article 6 of the Constitution.
The senator from Boone requests unanimous consent that further reading of the Journal be dispensed with and that it be approved as having been read. Is there objection? Chair hears none, so ordered. Introduction of guest, the Senator from Ohio County.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's my honor to introduce our doc for the day today. We have Dr. Chandra Barker of Ona, West Virginia. If the Senate would please make her welcome.
Thank you. Further introductions? Further introductions? Communications from the House.
There are none.
Communications from the executives.
There are none.
Reports from standing committees.
There are none.
Reports from select committees.
There are none.
Introduction of bills. Senator from Ohio County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Requesting name is sent that Senate Bill number 153 through Senate Bill number 254 be considered and introduced, read by their titles, and referred to the appropriate committees as shown on the chamber automation system.
Is there objection? Chair hears none, so ordered. Resolutions.
Senate Resolution 4 by Senators Trump, Blair, Seipolt, Smith, Plymel, Stallings, and Boso, honoring the life of Dr. Harry Warren Boggs.
The Senator from Morgan County.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be taken up for immediate consideration, that committee reference be dispensed with, and that the resolution be put upon its adoption.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Clerk will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 4, honoring the life of Dr. Harry Warren Boggs of Kaiser, West Virginia, a dedicated public servant.
Senator from Morgan County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, as members of the legislature know, members of the Senate know, is Mineral County Day. It's a day that we all look forward to every year during the legislative session, and in particular, those of us who represent Mineral County who are co-sponsors of this resolution. It's appropriate and fitting that on a day, on Mineral County Day, we memorialize and celebrate the life of Dr. Harry Boggs, who died in 2011. But he was a lifelong resident of Kaiser, West Virginia, a graduate of Kaiser High School and Potomac State College, WVU, and the Pennsylvania College of Optometry. And it'd be an understatement, Mr. President, to say that Dr. Boggs left a mark and made an impact on Kaiser and Mineral County. He served as a naval aviator captain with the Navy and was a commanding officer in 4 major commands. And two tours he served in the Pentagon Naval Command Center and accumulated 8,150 flight hours during his 31 years of service, traveling to 50-some foreign countries. In Mineral County, his fingerprints are everywhere. He served as the past president of the Mineral County Development Authority, Mineral County Industrial Development Corporation, the Rotary Club in Kaiser, the Mineral County Chamber of Commerce. He was the financial chairman of the Queens Meadow Point Cemetery Corporation, served in the Mineral County Republican Club. Dr. Boggs served as a United Board of Trustees of Davis and Elkins in Elkins, West Virginia, and the Board of Trustees for the Sunnyside Retirement Community in Harrisonburg, Virginia. He was a director of the former National Bank of Kaiser and of the Kaiser Main Street program. Remarkable life, and touched many residents over the course of many generations of Kaiser and Mineral County. And so I am delighted, Mr. President, to urge the adoption of this appropriate resolution.
Further discussion, the Senator from Preston County.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's with great honor I rise to speak to the life of Dr. Harry Warren Boggs. And I have to make a confession here. I'd known Mr. Boggs for a number of years. First probably met him around 2004 when I was first running for the Senate. And up until about 2 years ago, I never knew he was a doctor. He was a very sincere individual, soft-spoken, very honest, and quite frankly, made everyone feel at home, made everyone feel welcome, made everyone feel like a peer, even though he was head and shoulders above the most of us. And of course, we can read the resolution and we can see all of his community and professional achievements, but I'd like to touch just a little bit more on the personal side. Harry is very much missed and will be very much missed, but he leaves a legacy. And he has put in place, because it wasn't all about Harry, it was about the community. So what he left as a legacy was very capable leaders, and we see many of them standing in the back of the room who carry on that legacy and continue to prosper Mineral County. And for that reason, I urge adoption of this resolution.
Further discussion? The senator from Tucker County.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of the resolution also. I didn't have the honor of knowing Mr. Boggs, being the new senator in that area, but I can tell you, anywhere you go in Mineral County, not only the Kaiser area, but anywhere in Mineral County, Mr. Boggs, people speak highly of his legacy. And I just regret that, I didn't know him on a personal note, but the impact he left on the community of Kaiser and the county of Mineral is unbelievable. A lot of people, throughout the years, and they pass away, and all you can say about him is, oh yeah, I knew him. Yeah, he was a pretty good guy. But with Mr. Boggs, it's not that. People just go on and rant and raving about his, services to the community and his compassion, and for those reasons, I rise in support of this resolution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Further discussion? Further discussion. Not the question before the Senate is the adoption of the resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the resolution adopted. The senator from Ohio County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Request unanimous consent that the remarks by the senator from Morgan, the senator from Tucker, and the senator from Preston be put in the appendix of the journal.
Is there objection? Chair hears none, so ordered. Senator from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate stand in brief recess for the purpose of presenting the resolution.
Senator from Ohio moves that the Senate stand in brief recess for the purpose of presenting the resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the Senate in brief recess to present the resolution. Senate will please come to order. Senate will please come to order. Further resolutions?
Yes, sir. Senate Resolution 5 by Senators Trump, Blair, Seipolt, Smith, Plymel, Stallings, and Boso, recognizing the public service of Ann Palmer.
The senator from Preston County.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be taken up for immediate consideration, the committee references dispensed with, and the resolution be put upon its adoption.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. So ordered. The clerk will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 5, recognizing the dedicated public service of Ann Palmer to Mineral County and the state of West Virginia.
The senator from Preston.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent to explain the resolution in lieu of having it read.
Senator may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Anyone can sit down and read the resolution and see what wonderful community, civic, and professional advancements and impacts that Ann has had on the community of Mineral County. But I have a little more of a personal story. I recall back in 2004, the year I first ran for Senate, the first place I went, first time I ever entered into Mineral County was at a Chamber of Commerce breakfast. And I don't remember exactly what the tone of it was. May have been for legislature or something. I don't know. But Sarah Manier, my predecessor, had asked me to come there, and I showed up, and I identified myself. At that time, it was at Polish Pines. It's an institution that's no longer there, but they had a banquet room, maybe 60 people in there or more. And we all went around the room, stood up, and identified ourselves. I said, I'm Dave Seifolt from Preston County. I'm running for the state Senate. Well, after that meeting, it was a great meeting. I had several members of the Chamber of Commerce come to me and personally say, you know, this really isn't the place for politics. You know, we appreciate you wanting to run for office, but, you know, just tone it down. We'd appreciate you, you know, keep it in the right place. But Ann wasn't like that. I met her that day, and through a course of conversation after the meeting, we had lunch together, maybe went to her office. We talked about the community development, some of the ideas that she had to bolster the economy of the mineral counties. And more importantly, she stressed the importance of the relationships built between county organizations and the legislature. And I think that that's evidenced by the number of years that the Mineral County has had a Mineral County Day. They started long before I was involved in politics, but they continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also rise in support of the resolution. Like my colleague from Preston, Senator Seipolt, the first time I met Ann was at a Chamber of Commerce breakfast also. She had called me on the phone, and just speaking to her on the phone, she put you at ease, you know, because I'm a new guy at this, and she invited me to the breakfast, and I was a little, you know, didn't know a whole lot of people in Mineral County. I mean, I knew a lot, but not in the with the chambers and the leadership down there. And as soon as I walked in, she just made you feel at home, like she'd been a long-lost friend. She's always been nothing but good to me. I consider her a real good friend now. And we have 8 counties in our district, and I can tell you, she's not only one of the best, if not the best, chamber person, but she is the most pleasant. I mean, she just puts you at ease when you meet her. She just got that soothing personality, and I just appreciate her being a friend, and appreciate the hard work, because I wish all of our counties were as organized as what Mineral County was, not on just Mineral County Day, but everything, the meetings, and she's a big part of that, and for those reasons, I support this resolution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Further discussion. The senior senator from the 15th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't rarely make remarks for resolutions, or I rarely make remarks for resolutions, and the reason for it is I porky pig things up sometimes. But I would like to echo the remarks that my colleagues here have, but more than anything, thank you for keeping me straight, because she would call and make sure that I was going to be there, and you were the one that made sure that, and I wanted to say thank you more than anything else. Thank you, and you deserve this.
Further discussion. Further discussion. Not, the question before the Senate is adoption of the resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the resolution adopted. The senator from Ohio County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Request unanimous consent that the remarks by the senator from Berkeley, Morgan, Tucker, and Preston be printed in the appendix of the journal.
Is there objection? Chair hears none, so ordered. The senator from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate stand in brief recess for the purpose of presenting the resolution.
Senator from Ohio moves that the Senate stand in brief recess for the purpose of presenting this resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the Senate in brief recess to present this resolution. Senate will please come to order. Senate will please come to order. Are there further resolutions?
No, sir.
Motions? Petitions?
I have a petition presented by Senators Trump and Blair from Eric and Linda Pritchard and numerous other residents requesting legislation requiring health insurance companies to pay for extended therapy for chronic Lyme disease.
Petition will be received and referred to the Committee on Health and Human Resources. Unfinished business.
The following resolutions are naming bridges and roads. Senate Concurrent Resolution 1, Senate Concurrent Resolution 2, Senate Concurrent Resolution 3, Senate Concurrent Resolution 4.
Resolutions will be received and referred to the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. Bills on third reading.
There are none.
Bills on second reading.
There are none.
Bills on first reading.
There are none.
Introduction of guest. The Senator from Preston County.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the senior senator from the 15th, the senator from Morgan, the senator from Tucker, and myself, we would like to make welcome in the gallery the Fighting Fibrosis group from Kaiser Middle School. And I'll call your names if you'd stand as I recognize you. Avery Smith, Skylar Ritchie, E.J. Guy, Alec Stanslawski, Hunter Powell, Cassidy Pancake, and the rest of the students and the teachers who are chaperoning them are Sheila Powell and Stacy McClintock. Will the Senate please make them welcome? And I would mention that they have a lemonade stand out there today, and I think they're raising money and awareness for cystic fibrosis.
Further introductions? Further introductions? Remarks by members of the Senate? Remarks by members of the Senate? Miscellaneous business. The Senator from Ohio County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Subject to announcements, move the Senate stand adjourned until tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Are there announcements? The Senior Senator from the 15th. Mike's not on.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your Committee on Finance will meet today at 3 p.m. for the revenue presentation.
Further announcements. The Senior Senator from the 8th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your Committee on Government Organization will meet at 2 p.m. in 208 West.
Further announcements. Senator from Tucker.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your Committee on Energy will not meet today. We will meet Tuesday next week.
Further announcements. Further announcements. The Senator from Upshur.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your Committee on Education will meet today at 2 p.m. and 451M.
Further announcements. Not the question before the Senate is, shall the Senate stand adjourned until tomorrow at 11 a.m. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the Senate adjourned until tomorrow at 11 a.m.